And now for something completely different. In this box I have some kits. These kits contain the parts to build displays for pinball machines. And in this video I'm going to go through with you building one of these up from the kit to a fully working display, 6 and 7 segment, dependent on whether it's a score display or a price display. So we'll build up a 6 segment, and I think these boards are the same on them, to be honest. Yeah, these are 6 or 7, so take one of them, and I'll get the bits out ready and we'll go through it. What we're building is a replacement for this. These are found in Bally's, Stern, a lot of pinballs around the very late 70s and the early 80s, before the dot matrix display was developed. These were what was used for scoring. This one is actually one I've got to repair, which I will go through in another video. It is going back in a machine where the customer wants it to stay with these. So we've got a couple of them and we're going to make one work out of them, but that is for another video. So when we look at this, that is the bottom part and that is the display part, and they will sit like that or like that. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to work that out. I believe that one goes in the bottom like that. These are going to go into here like that, and then finally we're going to put a brightness potentiometer in here. Let's give this a go. So if I do that like that, if this goes in the front, it's going to sit like that. I think that wants to go at the back because I think that's going to sit better. Okay, so I just had a look at a photo and it shows that that piece goes on the front like that. So I think the first job is to build this up. We'll put the back ones in, solder them in, put the front in, solder that in, put the potentiometers in, solder that in, and that builds up this main board here. So I'm going to grab my soldering iron and some solder and we'll get this put together. Just having a little bit of a, what it is, I've now got some new glasses and they're taking a little bit of working out. So what that's done now, that's grabbed those in place. They're not going to move, and in fact I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you in a bit closer so you can see what's going on better. Okay, let's solder these in. So now I've got these jammed into place, I'm just going to run down them . Just giving each one an ample amount of solder. Okay. Next I'm going to take a look at this joint here. and as I put the solder on that, I realise that that has moved out. So I'm just going to push that back in and put the solder on the back of this. Job done. So with this one, I'm going to bend a pin over. I'm not going to bend a pin over. It's not going to allow me to do it. So they're a bit stronger than I thought they'd be. Not a bad thing, you know. So let's start off at this end. I'm just going to plonk some solder on it. I'm come down the other end, plonk a bit of solder on it. That's going to hold it in place whilst I run down and solder the other side. I'll deal with that in a second. So you've got a bridge there. I've got to come back down and solder the second joint, so I'll tidy up on the way back. Like that, look. Not soldering very well, to be honest. Give my iron a good clean. Okay, so that's the bottom board built up. Next up, I'm going to do this here. Strangely, the connectors are becoming a long piece, so I'm going to split it off there. Hope I've got this right. That would have been bad. Good job I double checked. Now we found the picture and that showed that that went on like that. So that's then going to go and plug in there. So I'm going to start and solder this in. I'm going to hold it in place with my thumb underneath it. Just push it up. I'm going to do a couple of joints on this end. Well, a joint on that end, a joint on this end. Now I know it's going to stay there. Now that's in situation, in situ, before I go any further, I'm just going to plug these two halves together and just make sure they're okay. So there we go, I've confirmed the two halves will connect back up. Bally and stern is going apparently. There we go. And now it's just a case of patiently running down, soldering these one by one. You want one of those fancy flow solder tools. The ones you see on social media where they move the soldering iron down and it solders them all one after another. I don't know whether they're real or whether they're clickbait. There we go. Next job. Displays. No. The question of which way round they go is answered by the dots at the bottom. Quite simply. Come on. There we go. That one was being a bit awkward. So there we go. Again, put them in there. Next job is just to run along the bottom of here and just solder everything. I always solder furthest to closest. Just knock that off my iron. Quite frankly, having some issues today. That was a bit untidy there. Better. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Okie dokie, there we go. Then that will go onto here like that. And what we're left to do now is to test it and see if it works. Let's test it. So we've got this tester here that does Zachary Bally and stern. You need to make sure the switch is set to Bally and stern, and plug a 5-volt supply in. So what it should do now, it should go across and display 1 to 8 or 1 to 0. And as long as we get all that, we know that that's working as it should do, because all of the segments are lighting up. So there we go. That is how to build one of those and how to test one of those displays. In the next video I'm going to do, we're going to look at actually repairing an original one. We're going to use the same test equipment here. However, what we've got to do as well is put a 12-volt supply to this power supply here that produces 100 and something volts to put the high voltage to the tube. So we're going to do that next, but I hope you've enjoyed looking at this. I might roll them into one video, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. If not, thank you for watching, and please subscribe and have a look at the other stuff. Thank you. Bye bye.